Are you stupid or something? You probably are, and buddy, that's alright. You're in the right place to learn some stuff, so stick around and you just might. My name is Notme, and I'll be asking some Q's, and at the end you'll be riddled with A's. You might score real high, but even if not, you'll sure be glad you played. If you're looking for prizes, just move along, there's no money for you to earn. You win by trying and doing your best, your prize is the stuff you learn. If you want to be an artiste, you have to know all you can about the world of art. So engage with this quiz, and at the end you'll say, I am smart.
I am not me. I am art, and I am your host for I Am Smart, the quiz where people compete for the right to say, I am smart. By engaging with this quiz, you're accepting that you don't know everything. And baby, that's fine, don't worry about it, nobody does. For instance, why do the American wildfires stop at the borders to other countries on that map they're always showing? I don't know. If you're anything like me, you don't know everything because you spend less time thinking and more time feeling. Yeah? For instance, I feel like the wildfire thing is just a Goldilocks vibe. Yeah? Canada, too cold for fires. Mexico, too hot even for fires. America, just right for fires. I mean, maybe not, but it's what I feel, so I can't be wrong here. The format of the quiz is very simple, very straightforward. There's 5 rounds, there's 5 questions in each round, and there's 5 musings, one for each round. There's 30 points overall. All you're going to need for this quiz is something to write with and something to write on. You'll also need a brain for thinking and an imaginosphere for imagining. Both will be tested and tested thoroughly within this quiz. Optional is a beverage for toasting. I always like to start with a little toast. It brings the group together before our mental exertions, helps us all to feel as one. I hope you've all got your beverages at the ready so you can join me in this toast. To me, to you, to toilet tissue. I hope you don't suffer too much of a come down after your 15 minutes of fame earlier this year, toilet tissue. There are a lot of one-hit wonders out there that I imagine could help you out a lot. Tony Basil, Nana, Bobby McFerrin, to name but 3. You're not alone, toilet tissue, yeah? Reach out if you need us. Cheers. Double dipping on that first one. Has to be. How are we all doing? Hope you all learned, you enjoyed learning about Auguste Rodin there in the countdown. Just crazy, isn't it? It's just making something look like flesh when it is in fact not flesh at all, but something much harder than flesh. Very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. It's also what Madonna does every day, every morning with her beauty regimen. She is truly the Rodin of today. My thanks as ever to Wikipedia for providing the information. How are we all doing? TB Douglas quiz, and then a question mark, and then a cheers. I don't know what you've put in between those two. TB Douglas, there's some glasses. They're clinking as a way to celebrate the cheers visually. Don't have a huge amount of people watching today. It might just be you and me, TB. Might just be you and me, which I think, I don't mean to, look at this negatively. I think that gives you the edge in terms of getting that high score. That's just one man's opinion. Let's do it. Absolutely. As I learned from my years of childhood, you don't need other people to have fun. Final bit of business, just in case somebody is watching this after the fact, is that for those smarties who aren't also weaklings, first off, I don't know what you're doing on a Sunday that's more important than the Most Week show, but whatever. You might be unaware that I'm taking a break. Any show, regardless of the quality, needs a tune-up every now and again. It's just science, yeah? And this show is absolutely no different. I've run this quiz once a week for almost 4 months now, without taking a single week off. So there is bound to be something or things that I could do better. Problem is, I can't imagine what they might be. I've thought, been racking my brains, and I can't really think of anything. So it seems pretty perfect to me. So I'm really going to need to take some time off in order to work it all out. So after this episode, the next I Am Smart will be on the 29th of October. Write it down in your diaries. 29th of October. So a little bit of a break. But all of the previous episodes will still be online for you to reminisce with in the interim, as well as some other fun things going on. So no need to be too sad. But before that break, guys, guess what? We've got a whole episode to do today. Okay, so strap on and let's get to that first round, shall we? Let's get to that first round right now. That's right. In order to be a great artiste, you must discern lies from truth. I'm going to give you 5 statements, guys, but do you believe them? If you do, you write yay, and if you don't, you write nay. It couldn't be simpler. Unless it was just writing Y or N. But, let's have some propriety, shall we? And as ever, the round subject is chosen by the high scorer of last week's quiz. Last week, Killer Kilch earned the high score and chose Bam Bam Roll to choose... What was it? It was, of course, manga and anime, the Japanese names for comic books and cartoons. Yeah? It was a challenging category to turn into art, but as ever, I came through. All of the questions here are 50-50, so you've got a 1 in 32 chance of getting them all right without even trying. So let's just crack on. Guys. Or guy. Just TB. Is there anyone watching on YouTube? No. Statement number 1, guys. Classic manga and anime Akira, yeah, is set in the future city of Osaka. TB Douglas, I'm feeling like this is my week. I think it could be your week as well. I think you'd be pretty unfortunate for this to not be your week, TB. Pretty unfortunate. I've got my fingers crossed for you. Statement number 1. Classic manga and anime Akira is set in the future city of Osaka. Do you believe that? If you do, you write yay. If you don't, you write nay. That's simple. And you write it down on the piece of paper, on the thing that you're writing on, not in the chat. Although this week, it seems like that's not going to be too much of an issue, because of course it would just be TB writing it and then TB getting the opportunity to cheat off TB. So different week this week, but that's absolutely fine. Statement number 2. The universe of Dragon Ball Z, again a famous manga and anime, does not in fact feature any dragons. But why would they name it Dragon Ball Z if there were no dragons in it? That's the question that you need to ask if you're considering writing nay for this. You know what those Japanese are like? They're wacky, yeah? They're wacky. Have you seen the game shows? They're wacky. Can't really, get your head around what they're thinking, is what I'm saying. Statement number 3. Naruto, the protagonist of the eponymously titled manga and anime, all of these, both mangas and animes, has a 9-tailed fox demon sealed inside his body. TB Douglas, that's the question I'm asking myself in terms of how do you put stock in what a Japanese person's thinking? Absolutely. It's a question that I'm not going to say keeps me up at night. I don't want to lie to you, but it gives me pause. It gives me pause, guys. As Naruto might have, if he or she does in fact have a 9-tailed fox demon sealed inside his body. Oh, I do say it's he. There we go. Let's do that. I felt that there wasn't enough light on me. Lighting, obviously, is a constant struggle in this because of the green screen. I think that looks pretty cool. Pretty sick. It kind of turns it green, doesn't it? That's not necessarily what we want. It's got a green neck here. Okay, that's fine. We can deal with that. Statement number 4. Super sick. Thanks, TB. Maybe that's too much. then just white seems a little... We'll work it out. We'll work it out. We'll find it. We'll find it throughout. Number 4, Ghost in the Shell's anime adaptation has a higher Rotten Tomato score than its live action adaptation. So it's been adapted into an anime. The manga comic has been adapted into an anime cartoon and a live action film. What I'm positing here is that the anime has a higher Rotten Tomatoes score than the live action adaptation. Do you believe that? Yay? Nay? That's better. Told you we'd find it. It's hard to say. I'm getting ahead of myself. I can't necessarily pinpoint what it was that you're responding to when you say it's hard to say, but that's absolutely fine. Thank you for your engagement, TB. I hope you're enjoying yourself. Hope even though it's technically not in the same space as other people, I hope you are figuratively able to put your feet up because there's a little bit more space there. Statement number 5, final statement. In the manga and anime Sailor Moon, bit of a chick one, there are 10 Sailor Guardians. Is that a yay or is that a nay? 10? Thumbs up, TB. Glad you're having a great time. If there are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9 Sailor Guardians, that's a nay. If there's 10, it's a yay. If there's 11 plus, again, nay. So the odds technically are in the nays, but why have I picked 10? Mind games, guys, mind games. And that's all the questions of the first round gone, guys. But is the first round over? We've got a musing, because that looks like an M, doesn't it? M for musing. We've got a musing coming up, and the musing... So I was going to say, what's your favourite anime / manga? And I thought, meh, that's a little bit too specific. What if people aren't big fans of anime and manga? Which is possible. So then I thought I'd just broaden it out slightly. What's your favourite Japanese thing? What's your favourite Japanese thing? TB Douglas, not a big fan. So it's a good job that I did this. Because if the only person that's watching live wasn't a big fan of manga and anime, then that would have been a wasted question. A wasted question. What's your favourite Japanese thing, TB? I mean, I might as well just direct this entirely to you. Hello, YouTube! Exclamation point. I'm excited. Is there anybody out there watching? A personal audience is not me. Perhaps I can ask you some questions, turn the tables. If you want to, TB, you can ask away. This can be an AMA, which is what the kids refer to as an Ask Me Anything. Feel free. I'd be surprised if you can spare any intellectual brain power to think of any questions, because I'm taxing you so much because of the intellectual rigor of this quiz. But if you think you've got what it takes, by all means. But whilst you're thinking of that, we're going to get on to the second round. I know that voice. I know that voice. It's something that we've done before. It did not work particularly well last time because there were technical issues. These are technical issues that I believe I have solved with this round. So what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to play you 5 audio clips, okay? These are 5 audio clips from movies. Now, which movies? Specifically, these are all in the top 10 grossing movies from this year, from 2020. All of these clips. I do not need to know the name of the film. I need to know the name of the actor or actress that is speaking here. Okay? If there is more than one person speaking, I will address that at the time. Okay? Such a great year in film. Absolutely. Some terrific film. I mean, just in this little lineup here, some terrific works of art here. Not the highest grossing, certainly in terms of years, but is art all about money? Not for me. Nice to know where you stand, though, TB. Nice to know where you stand. So, we're going to go with the first audio clip, and I want you to tell me which actor or actress you are hearing here, okay? Or I want you to tell me I can't hear anything. But fingers crossed that doesn't happen. Here we go.
24 years ago, before we partnered up, Captain Howard pulled me right out of the academy. Nobody knew who I was. He sent me in undercover with the Aretas cartel.
Did you hear that, TB? Essentially, this is what I need to know first off. Because if you didn't hear anything, we're in trouble. You did hear it. Okay, so that's good. So who was that? Who was that? I think an easy one. Can you have it again? Okay, that's absolutely fine. Let's have it again.
24 years ago, before we partnered up, Captain Howard pulled me right out of the academy. Nobody knew who I was. He sent me in undercover with the Aretas cartel.
Too warm, even with the fan on me. Too warm for the blazer. But you saw the blazer. The blazer means that I'm a quiz show host, so I fulfilled my contractual obligations. That's good. There we go. Number one. An easy one, I think, to begin. Number two, relatively easy as well, if I may be so bold as to say.
Egg, bacon, American cheese, soft, toasted, buttered roll. What a way to start my new life. With the perfect egg sandwich.
There we go. Who's that? Who's that? That's the question we're asking here. Number three? Who is number three? Easy. TB's got it. TB's got it. Number three. Maybe a little bit trickier. Number three. Upping the rigor, lowering the accessibility. But that's the risk we run. Okay?
All right. Take it easy. Alpha 1, stand down. We got this situation handled.
Roger that. Holding.
If you want a helicopter, you gotta give me a phone.
Clear a path, there isn't a moment to waste. I have procured that which you said does not exist. Behold, the fruit of the Eden tree. I said clear a path.
I muted the microphone. Apologies. So what I will say with that one, and I'll say it again. I'll state my case for which I'm certain. Along with number two, that was an actor putting on an accent. Okay? So I'm going to give you that one again. So this is not the actor's natural accent.
Clear a path, there isn't a moment to waste. I have procured that which you said does not exist. Behold, the fruit of the Eden tree. I said clear a path.
There we go. And then number five, the actors here perhaps aren't quite the A-listers that we've had so far. So there's going to be two people talking here, and I will give you the point for either, okay? Either actor or actress here will get you the point. Yeah? So tricky. It's tricky, isn't it, TB? It's tricky. Absolutely.
Well, I guess this is the kind of place you could get a lot of living done in a short period of time. Suppose we can spare an hour?
What? You're gonna bucket list with me?
Sure, why not?
You won't regret this.
I'm pretty sure I will.
Wow. Wow. Sounds like they're going to have a heck of a time, doesn't it? Sounds like they're going to have a heck of a time. So that's your 5. Your 1, your 2, your 3, your 4, and your 5. Not a clue. Not a clue. That's a shame. That's a shame, TB. But, you know, I have faith that you are getting all of them that you could be reasonably expected to get. Fingers crossed. I object that there were 2 voices in that one. Confusing. I'll give it to you again. I'll give you that 5th one again. I'll give you that 5th one again. There's kind of one person at the beginning explaining the concept of a bucket list, I believe. Or no, saying about something about somebody somewhere that they are, and then the second voice comes in afterwards.
Well, I guess this is the kind of place you could get a lot of living done in a short period of time. Suppose we can spare an hour?
What? You're gonna bucket list with me?
Sure, why not?
You won't regret this.
I'm pretty sure I will.
There we go. There we go. And then the musing for this round. What measures would a cinema have to put in place in order for you to be comfortable watching a movie? Yeah? What measures would a cinema have to put in place in order for you to be comfortable watching a movie? So this is obviously the 17th of September. A lot of cinemas still closed because of, what's it called? COVID-19. They're kind of gradually reopening now, but some people are a little bit reticent, a little bit afraid of going back, understandably. Worldwide pandemic, guys. But what measures would a cinema have to put in place in order for you to be comfortable watching a movie? And if you're afraid, don't limit yourself by what is realistic. Just for you. It's the important, in pretty much every musing, it's you. It's about you guys. Guy. And there we go. Have we got a round 3? Have we got a round 3? Yeah, you bet your buns we do. Look close. Look close, absolutely. As an artiste, you need to keep your eyes open, yeah? There's inspiration flying at you all the time. How are you going to feel if a spellbinding idea just passed you by and you didn't even realise because you were too busy daydreaming about movie posters where the actors' names don't correspond to their positioning on the poster? Really annoyed. That's how. So I'm about to show you some incredible art. It's one of my past videos. And when I do, I want you to look closely, yeah? Because there's going to be questions on it afterwards. So we are continuing our look at the making of Could You Be Love by As You Mean by Not Me, one of the great music videos of the last 10 years. And yeah, I want you to look close, okay? This one is all about my co-star. Enjoy. But also pay attention, because as I said, there's going to be, don't waste too much of your brain power enjoying it. Like, pay attention as well.
Shopping for clothes in Ross. Dress well for less. Constructing a co-star out of a blazer and a dress. Mistake face, sad face, happy face, kissing face, shocked face, pooping face, nervous face, silly face, a mop and a hanger. She's almost done. Have to make some faces and then we have some fun. Bland face, upset face, angry face, sleeping face, shouting face, livid face, stub-toe face, a-hole face. I name her Tina. She is the perfect co-star. She'll never leave me. I love her so far. Annoyed face, eating face, ecstatic face, grumpy face, aroused face, incredulous face, straw face, crying face.
The crying face is actually pretty clever. I cut holes in it and stuck 2 straws through it, so I just take a mouthful of water, blow it out, thus creating the illusion of tears for that one shot. You probably didn't notice it at the time, probably just drawn in by the craft and the storytelling, but now that you do know, maybe how about a little praise?
There we go. There we go. And we're going to get to the questions quick. So it's still fresh in your mind, because this one's tricky, guy. TB. Notme states the Ross motto, the motto of the clothing chain Ross, but adds a single word to that motto. What is the word? And you know what the actual motto is, because it's written on both the shopping bag and the shop front behind Notme. But what extra word does Notme add in? Yeah? TB's got it. So question 2. Along with a dress, what other item of clothing is used to create Tina? What other item of clothing? Question 3. There are 3 sections where Notme names faces of Tina. All I need is one face in the first group. So it's split into 3 different sections. This face, that face, something face, this is face, ba 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 da 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 da. So there's 8 different options that you could pick from here. I just need one face from the first group. Okay? Just one. Question 4. There are 3 sections where Notme names faces of Tina. I just need one face in the second group. That's all I need. One face in the second group. And then question 5. Yeah, you guessed it. There are 3 sections where Notme names faces of Tina. Name one face in the third group. The third group. Yeah? So essentially, questions 3, 4, and 5, I just need the name of one of the faces in each of the groups. That's all I need. Just one. You have 24 to pick between. But I just need 3 of them. Easy. Almost too easy. Insultingly easy? Yeah, probably too easy. And then we've got our musing. Here's the musing, guys. If you created a co-star, what quality would be the most important for them to have in your mind, in your estimation? What do you believe would be the most important quality for them to have? And again, it's up to you. If you, it's right here, if you created a co-star, most important for them to have in your estimation. That's a good question. Thank you, TB. Thank you. I'm not going to infer from that the rest of the questions that you haven't stated that for have been subpar questions. I'm just going to... This is a particularly good question. That's what I'm going to read into that. RT Spotlight? Yeah, let's do it. RT Spotlight. Game recognizes game, guys. As an artiste, you have to be willing to shed some light and shine some light, that I can combined into the word shine, a light onto the work of some other artists and be nice about it. Yeah? That way, if they want to be polite, they have to say nice stuff about your art. Shine some light. You've got to shine it, yeah? Shed it, shine it, shane it. Put that on a t-shirt. The spotlight this week falls on dreamy Idris Elba. I would like to point out that this is just the best, this is the nicest PNG image that I could find of him. The fact that it is a black and white picture is not a comment on his race at all. Okay? T.B. Douglas is sweating, or as liquid of some kind, I assume / hope it's sweat. Sweating because of lovely Idris with his lovely smile and his lovely greying beard. Pretty old then, I guess. Question number 1 on Idris Elba. How much do you know about him? You love him, you lust after him. Sure, we all do, but how much do you know about him? Question 1. In which TV show did Idris Elba rise to international prominence? In the early aughts. Which TV show did Idris Elba rise to international prominence? Question number 2. In 2016, Idris Elba lent his voice to 3 animated or largely animated films. I just need one of them. Thought that was quite interesting. 3 animated or largely animated films in a single year for Idris. Although if you know anything about the making of animated films, you know that he would have recorded those voice bits years prior. Just years and years. TB says, gosh. I know. Pretty shocking, right? Pretty shocking. Just give me one of them. That's all I need, guys. Question number 3. In 2019, Idris Elba performed at which American music festival? Yeah, he's a musician too. He does DJing and rhythm and blues stuff. R&B. Which American music festival? Question number 4. Idris Elba was named People magazine's sexiest man alive, presumably based on his brief appearance in Avengers Infinity War in the same year. But which year did he win the honour? People magazine's sexiest man alive. Man alive, he's sexy, say people. Maybe one day I'll win it. Could happen. Could happen. A lot of them have been in their 40s. So there's still time. Still time. And question number 5. Which character did Idris Elba play in the live-action adaptation of Cats? Wonderful film. Wonderful film. Artistic. Confusing. It stayed in my thoughts for a long time afterwards, which I think is a good thing for art. If you're left thinking about it afterwards, I think that's a good. TB disagrees. Terrible film, says TB. Terrifying. Well, I think that's because it stayed in my thoughts, but it stayed in my thoughts mainly in the form of nightmares, is how it stayed with me. And Idris was a big part of that. With his big, just kind of glossy, kind of smooth undercarriage. Just really stayed with me. Wasn't a fan of that. I mean, maybe I was. Maybe I could, speak to some kind of psychiatrist or psychologist or dream interpreter. I've been, dreaming about Idris Elba's lack of genitalia in the movie Cats. And maybe the therapist to be able to shine some light on exactly what's gone on there. We've got a musing. Here we go. What's our musing about Idris Elba? Idris Elba is 6'3", 214 pounds, and a proficient kickboxer. He's won a kickboxing fight. What would be your plan of action against him in a fight? You have to fight Idris Elba. What's the plan of action? He's a big dude. He's a big, imposing, intimidating dude. How do you prepare? What's your plan? How are you going to beat him? How are you going to not lose to him? I mean, really, in a street fight, I imagine that's a big part of it. Winners can be difficult to define, but people who I'm allowed weapons, says TB Douglas. If you want weapons, you can have weapons. This is down to your interpretation. Okay, this is your musing, and if you feel like you would benefit from weapons, use some weapons. TB, don't be afraid of the weapons. Don't be afraid of thinking outside the box. All you know is you've got to fight Idris Elba, and you've got to come out as the victor. Yeah? What are you doing there? What are you doing? 6:42. Let's get on to a final round, shall we? And you'll know what round that means. I wouldn't enjoy the beautiful song Bridge Over Troubled Water anywhere near as much had Simon and Garfunkel not been so knowledgeable about heroin. Artists need to know about the world around them, yeah? Not just art. And so I present this round about not art. Not art. Nart. TB Douglas. Nart. Absolutely. Absolutely. But what particular aspect of not art is this Nart round on? Interesting one. Famous last words. Yeah, famous last words. That's what we're dealing with here. Let's get on with it. Question number 1. Shakespeare got Julius Caesar's last words wrong, famously, although their recipient was correct. To whom did Julius Caesar say, "You too, child"? It's a bit of a complicated one, but it's easier than you probably think. And that's William Shakespeare, no other Shakespeare, and he got them wrong in his play Julius Caesar. Okay. To whom did he say, "You too, child"? Question number 2. Whose last words, "Tomorrow at sunrise I shall no longer be here," were just one of many correct predictions he made? This is a great question. This is a great question, I will say that. This is one that I'm pretty proud of. Correct predictions. Question number 3. Voltaire, the French writer, when asked to renounce someone by a priest, made his final words, "Now is not the time for making new enemies." To whom was he referring? Again, I've given you clues within the question here, okay? I've been quite clever with it. So really read it through and really just engage that brain, yeah? Voltaire, the French writer, when asked to renounce someone by a priest, made his final words, "Now is not the time for making new enemies." But to whom was he referring? Another 4 seconds on that. There we go. And question 4 is this. Yes. Which American president's last words, Thomas Jefferson survives, were incorrect, as Jefferson had died earlier that day? So we're dealing with one of the American presidents here. There have only been, let's say, 50 of them. It's about that. Which one of those 50 had as their last words, Thomas Jefferson survives? Which was, at the time, incorrect because Thomas Jefferson had not survived. He had, in fact, died earlier that day. So essentially, this question could be changed around to, which American president died on the same day as Thomas Jefferson? Another 3 seconds for this one. I gave you more than 3 seconds, but that's just because I'm generous. And the final question of this quiz. Many last words are written on gravestones, or graves in general. What is the name for that which is written on a grave? What is the name of it? What's the name given to it? And this is the final question, guys. So give it your all. And then our final musing, guys, our final musing. In an ideal world, what would your final words be? I'm giving you an opportunity to pick which words are your final words. Okay? This is something that you're probably not actually going to get in real life, but in the world of I Am Smart, you get this opportunity. Yeah? Ideal world, what are your final words? They could be profound, they could be moving, they could be, funny, they could be glib, they could be vengeful, whatever you like. They're your final words. I mean, do with them as you will. There we go. Are there any questions that anybody wants to hear again? And when I say anybody again, I stress that this is T.B. Douglas, the only person that I'm referring to here. Where's everybody else? I don't know where everybody... It seems weird. It seems like maybe they're all planning something. They're all together. I'm all good. Well, then in that case, T.B. Douglas, that's the end of the questions. You've survived them all. Well done. Let's celebrate.
I asked you some questions, but now the question part is done. Now let's hear some answers and find out who has won, which is everybody.
There we go. What was on the background of that jingle there? T.B. Douglas, they're planning for Jesus' birthday, perhaps. Don't forget, this Sunday, Most Week Show, Jesus' birthday special. Background of the jingle there, prescription drugs. You want a free drug fact? I'll give you a free drug fact. An estimated 60% of poor work performance can be tied back to drugs or alcohol. Interesting, isn't it? 60% of poor work performance is drug or alcohol related. So if you work with somebody who is not particularly good at their job, maybe sensitively, and always sensitively, guys, let's not be judgmental, but very sensitively, just very, very sensitively, treading carefully, yeah? Just report them anonymously to the police, okay? Your company wouldn't have hired them if they were naturally that bad, right? There's got to be something else going on. You're doing them a favour in the long run. So there we go. Let's get some answers, shall we? Let's get some answers. Yay or nay? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. The musing, and again, this is just for TB. What's your favourite Japanese thing? Put it in the chat, TB. Put it in the chat. We'll discuss it probably for about 6 or 7 minutes each on this one. We've got the time. We can luxuriate on it. What's your favourite Japanese thing? Statement number 1. Classic manga and anime Akira is set in the future city of Neosaka. Yay or nay? Nay. It's actually set in the future city of Neo-Tokyo. Although, if we're honest with ourselves, I think Neo-Osaka, a name that I made up whilst writing these questions, is better because it does incorporate the O of existing Japanese city Osaka. Osaka, Japan, Neo-Osaka. Makes more sense to me. But that's, it's their call. I decided we're going to put a little bit of music on, just to kind of change up the vibe of. It's going to go chill. Yeah. You hear that at all? I don't know. No, can't hear that. Getting a little bit of that. It's apparently at minus 27 decibels. You getting any of it? Got it a little. That's all we want. That's absolutely fine. I'm comfortable with that. Statement number 2. The universe of Dragon Ball Z does not, in fact, feature any dragons. Nay. The dragons are summoned by the balls. So, there's that one. Again, sometimes the Japanese, they do make sense. There is logic to the Japanese sometimes. Statement number 3. Naruto, the protagonist of the eponymously titled manga and anime, has a 9-tailed fox demon sealed inside his body. Yay. So in this instance, Japanese, off the wall. They're on the friggin' moon. Yeah? Statement number 4. Ghost in the Shell's anime adaptation has a higher Rotten Tomatoes score than its live-action adaptation. Is that a yay or nay? That is a yay as well. Interestingly, even though the anime adaptation has no Scarlett Johansson, the live-action adaptation has lots of Scarlett Johansson, and yet people prefer the other one. So, go figure. And statement number 5. In the manga and anime Sailor Moon, there are 10 Sailor Guardians. Is that right? Yay. What's that? You want the names of them? Yeah, I'll give you the names of them. Sailor Moon, Sailor Mercury, Sailor Mars, Sailor Jupiter, Sailor Venus, Sailor Chibi Moon, which means mini moon, Sailor Pluto, Sailor Uranus, who kind of got the bum end of the deal, if you don't mind me saying, Sailor Neptune and Sailor Saturn. 10 Sailor Guardians. But really what we're looking for here is the music. What's your favorite Japanese thing? TBW, sushi. All of the sushi. Absolutely. Sushi is a wonderful... Sushi... What I like about sushi is that it solves the dilemma of eating a salad, say, where it's like, I need to get a little bit of... Or any meal, really. You eat a roast dinner, you've got to get a little bit of potato, a little bit of carrot, a little bit of meat, a little bit of gravy, a little bit of stuffing. All on that one fork, and then you get in the whole deal. Sushi... Every single bite has everything in it. It's a very handy food to eat. And so that's why I like it. So that's a great choice. For me, my favorite Japanese thing, Karen Fukuhara. Wonderful actress. Moving on, we've got Rando. Oh, we need to get rid of the yep, it's the best. I want sushi now. Well, I hope you get sushi. Get some sushi, TB. No one's going to stop you. TB. We're going to need to... I think it's probably best for us to hear the... so the musing for this one is... what measures would a cinema have to put in place in order for you to be comfortable watching a movie? Pop it in the chat, TB. Let's have a discuss.
24 years ago, before we partnered up, Captain Howard pulled me right out of the academy. Nobody knew who I was. He sent me in undercover with the Aretas cartel.
And that was, of course, Mr. Willard Smith, which we know from him being the artist spotlight a couple of weeks ago. That was in Bad Boys for Life, which is actually the highest grossing movie of this entire year. Fun fact. Number 2.
Egg, bacon, American cheese, soft, toasted, buttered roll. What a way to start my new life. with the perfect egg sandwich.
This one's nice and easy. This one's nice and easy. You know it as well. Is of course Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie from Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey. Or whatever it was called. Number 3.
All right. Take it easy. Alpha 1, stand down. We got this situation handled. If you want a helicopter, you gotta give me a phone.
Vin Diesel from the film Bloodshot, which was the last film that a lot of people saw before going into the cinemas. Weren't particularly happy with it. Weren't particularly happy with that. Because I think there's some vindictiveness against Vin Diesel. Seems like a lovely chap. Maybe people would like him more if he didn't have such an aggressive name. I have thought that for a while. You go in for a certain character when you call yourself Vin Diesel when your real name's Mark Sinclair. I mean, Mark Sinclair's just a happier, he's just a more friendly chap, isn't it? We all know that. Number 4?
Clear a path, there isn't a moment to waste. I have procured that which you said does not exist. Behold, the fruit of the Eden tree. I said clear a path.
TB says, what is it about? If you're referring to Bloodshot, I believe it's about some kind of soldier who can get shot in the face, and then he's got small robots that live inside his body and put him back together again, so he can heal from pretty much anything. I think that's pretty much it. And it's Vin Diesel, and he's got a deep voice. And I think that's largely what the marketing was about. Vin Diesel getting shot in the face and just not even caring. Doesn't even care. Number 4 this was a tricky one because this was an accent, and again, an implaceable accent, because, you know, that's his artistic choice. Robert Downey Jr. from Doolittle. Didn't make a lot of money, but again, is it all about the money, guys? Is it all about the money? Or is it sometimes just about giving Robert Downey Jr. the time and the space to act with a lot of CG animals? Maybe that's the artistic statement. TB didn't get that one. That's a shame. That's a shame. But understandable, because as I say, it was the tricky one. And here we go with 2 voices. Either of these would have got you the point.
Well, I guess this is the kind of place you could get a lot of living done in a short period of time. Suppose we can spare an hour.
What? You're gonna bucket list with me?
Sure, why not?
You won't regret this.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I will.
Tricky one. Tricky one. I will give you the clue and say that this is from Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog, about the video game Sonic the Hedgehog. This was James Marsden and Ben Schwartz. Tricky one. Tricky one. Again, neither of these A-listers at this time, so well done if you did get that. But this musing, let's see what we've got. Super tricky, says TB. Yeah, super tricky. Sometimes I have to. I've got to sprinkle them in, TB, just to really put some hairs on your chest. TB says an individual plastic pod with speakers built in or else. Speakers built in or else, kind of threatening the cinema chains there, TB. I respect that. I respect that. You better put some individual speakers in my plastic pod or else. I'm going to give you a knuckle supper. I'm going to smash your face in. Violence, you know, sometimes it is the answer. Sometimes it does get you the results that you want, okay? And I hope this would. And everyone at least 2 rows apart, even within the plastic pods. You need plastic, 2 rows, plastic, and then somebody else. I respect that. For me, to get me back in the cinema, just not let anyone else in. And yeah, that's going to be difficult for their profit margin, but if they want me in, they're going to have to make the sacrifices, guys. Just me and nobody else. To be honest, I've thought that for a long time. I would go to the cinema a lot more if they could guarantee that I would be the only person in there. Personal screening, absolutely. Other people just kind of muddy it and talk, kind of spoil the art. That's my take. That's my take. Look close, guys. Look close. And of course, I haven't been mentioning it, but for all these musings, TB in the moment and anybody in the future, whatever you write, guys, you get a point. So you're guaranteed at least 5 points in this quiz. That's the Notme guarantee. The musing here, if you created a co-star, what quality would be most important for them to have? Get it in the chat. Get it in the chat, will you? Question number 1. Notme states the Ross motto, but adds a single word. What is that word? The Ross motto, of course, dress for less. Notme adds the little, because, you know, he is, and I am, a big fan of it. He adds the word well. Dress well for less. It's not something that they claim, which I think is quite a humble thing for them to do. It's one of the reasons I like them so much. Also, just like dirt cheap. Question 2. Along with a dress, what other item of clothing is used to create Tina? Oh, we can have the music back now, can't we? We can have the music back. Yeah. Along with the dress, what other item of clothing is used to create Tina? The answer is, of course, a blazer. Creating a co-star out of a blazer and a dress. Now, this one's tricky. 3 sections where Notme names faces of Tina. Name one face in the first group. If you got this, you've done very well. Very well. Mistake face, sad face, happy face, kissing face, shocked face, pooping face, nervous face, silly face. Those are the ones in the first group. In the second group, bland face, upset face, angry face, sleeping face, shouting face, livid face, stubbed toe face, a-hole face, absolute hole face. Maybe a little loud. Let's take it down to 5%. That's good. And then a little bit more for this. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fine. So well done if you got any of them. Just need one of them. And then number 5. There are 3 sections where Notme names faces of Tina. Name one face in the third group. Annoyed face, eating face, ecstatic face, grumpy face, aroused face, incredulous face, straw face, crying face was probably the easiest one, because then Notme goes on to explain the very clever mechanism by which he created tears out of a paper plate. So well done if you got any of them. 1 point for each of them. But the musing, of course, if you created a co-star, what quality would be the most important for them to have? TB goes for silliness, so that we can have fun together. Someone who doesn't take themselves too seriously. A lot of actors and actresses do take themselves quite seriously, so that's a good shout. Or failing that, we've got another option from TB. Someone very well connected and wealthy that can give me the taste of the high life. So it's really two very disparate selections there. You either want to have a great time, or failing that, you want them to be filthy rich. You are a complex person, TB, a person of great contrast and complexity, and that's credit to you. I believe there's a lot of people who'd look for the same thing in a spouse, a husband or a wife. That, you know, ideally, I'd like to have a great time with them. I'd like to respect them as a person. I'd like them to be lovely. If that seems unavailable and they're rich, I'll take care of that. I'll go for that. It's Jesus. Guys, Jesus has come to visit. Come on. It's Jesus. Hi, Jesus. What are you doing here, buddy? What do you do? Oh, thank you, Jesus. That's lovely. For me, just gonna continue on here. For me, if I was creating a co-star, I went back and forth on this one. There's a lot of different qualities that cropped up. But the biggest one for me, I realised at the end, not murderous. You know, because other things you can work around other things, but if they were very silly, excuse me. Thank you, Jesus. That's lovely. If they're very silly, but also murderous, I think that would take the shine off it. Again, very wealthy and well-connected, but murderous. For me, that would just spoil it. But great choices all round. Points all round, guys. Points all round. Artie Spotlight. Let's get a look at him. Idris. Jesus, look, it's Idris. It's Idris. Look, there he is. You can see him as well. There he is. Good boy, Jesus. Okay. The musing for this: Idris Elba is 6'3", 214 pounds, and a proficient kickboxer. What would be your plan of action against him in a fight? Get it in the chat. And if you are watching this in the future, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click a thumbs up like button. That would be a lovely compliment and a lovely sign that I was doing right there. But feel free to drop your musings in the comments. I'd love to hear what you came up with. Question number 1. In which TV show did Idris Elba rise to international prominence? The answer, of course, The Wire. The Wire, very violent, lots of drugs going on in that. Kind of a dirty show. Lots of blue language, which I didn't necessarily appreciate all the time. But he was in it and did a wonderful American accent. As did Dominic West. A couple of English chaps in the middle of it, which adds a little oddness to it, which I do appreciate. Question 2. In 2016, Idris Elba lent his voice to 3 animated or largely animated films. Name one of them. I only need one of these guys. Any one of these 3, and you will get the point. Zootopia, The Jungle Book, and Finding Dory. Any one of those, and you'll get the points there. Question number 3. In 2019, Idris Elba performed at which American music festival? Good boy. And that is, of course, Coachella. Performed at Coachella. Had a great time there, I'm sure, as did everybody listening to him. I'm sure he's a wonderful musician. Question 4. Idris Elba was named People Magazine's sexiest man alive, presumably based on his brief appearance in Avengers Infinity War in the same year. But in which year did he win the honour? You could have also looked at this as what year did Avengers Infinity War come out? And the answer, of course, to both questions, 2018. So well done if you got that right. 2018. He was the sexiest man in the sexiest man alive. Interestingly, none of the People Magazine's sexiest men alive have died in that year, which I think is good for their PR. Question number 5, final question. Which character did Idris Elba play in the live-action adaptation of The Cats? It was McCavity. McCavity. Interestingly, I thought, because of course, as we mentioned previously, based on my nightmares, we know that the character that Idris Elba played had no cavities. Yeah, just smooth. No buttholes or nothing. And musing. Idris Elba is 6'3", 214 pounds, and a proficient kickboxer. What would be your plan of action against him in a fight? TB Douglas writes, elbow to the gut, and then jump onto his back, strangling him from behind until he gives in. Wow. TB. That's down and dirty there, TB. Not giving any quarter. Opting not to go for weapons, which I think is an interesting... obviously, I've got no real idea of how large you are, how proficient at fighting you are, TB. From the sounds of it, formidable. And I wish you the best of luck. For me, TB doesn't want to hurt him. Just you're looking for that tap. You want that tap. Sorry, that wasn't for you, babe. For me, I would go with the tactic. I would try and enlist some help. I would tell The Rock and I would tell Jason Statham that Idris looked like more of a tough guy when he played the antagonist in Hobbs and Shaw, and I believe that would really set off their strong masculinity, and they would probably join the fight with me. And as we saw in Hobbs and Shaw, if there's 2 of them fighting together, much easier. Yeah, you need to work together to beat the bad guys. Yeah, and in this instance, if I'm having to fight Idris Elba, I'd have to psychologically think of him as the bad guy. Otherwise, I don't know necessarily whether I'd be able to punch him in the face. Thanks, Idris, for being such an interesting chap, and for being a great subject for Artist Spotlight. Appreciate it, babe. And then the final round, Nart. The musing was, in an ideal world, what would your final words be? So get that in the chat or in the comments below, future people. Question 1. Shakespeare got Julius Caesar's last words wrong, although their recipient was correct. To whom did he say, "You too, child"? Brutus. Shakespeare, of course, kind of paraphrasing slightly, saying, "And you, Brutus? Et tu, Brutus?" which is not true, but it was true, Brutus. You too, child? Oh, chow. Gives a slightly different a view of Julius Caesar, I think, which I think is quite interesting. Whose last words, tomorrow at sunrise, I shall no longer be here, were just one of many correct predictions that he made. It was, of course, Nostradamus. Nostradamus did a lot of predictions. This one slightly easier. If you feel like you're going to die, you know, that's a prediction that we can all make. I'll be honest with you guys, I'm probably not going to see Christmas. Question 3. Voltaire, the French writer, when asked to renounce somebody by a priest, made his final words, "Now is not the time for making new enemies." To whom is he referring? You got a little clue before because I unhid the wrong answer. It was Satan. Obviously him preparing, thinking, well, if I'm ending up in hell, I'm going to want to, you know, get in good with the boss right away. Smart guy. Smart guy, Voltaire. I've always said it. Question 4. Which American president's last words, Thomas Jefferson survives, were incorrect, as Jefferson had died earlier that day? The answer, of course, John Adams. Pretty boring name for a president, but did a lot of great stuff, I imagine. I can't name any of it, but I'm sure he did some wonderful stuff. Was once played by Paul Giamatti in an adaptation, which I think tells you all you need to know about him. Solid, dependable, if a little unspectacular. Question 5. Many last words are written on graves. What is the name for that which is written on a grave? It is, of course, an epitaph. An epitaph. Well done if you got that right. Musing. In an ideal world, what would your final words be? TB says, "I told you, didn't I?" Really? In any argument that's left hanging at the end of your life, you're getting that last word in. That's good. As given that opportunity, take it. You know. Then you're closing the book on it all, and everyone's like, "Oh, she's dead." Well done, TB. You win. For me, what did I write down? I write these ones down. That was a lovely kiss, Jamie Chung. I mean, if that's the last thing I do, that's the last thing I do, and that's, you know, that would be a nice way to see it all off, I believe. More that I predicted how it would all end specific. So what would? Okay, so let's examine this, TB. What's the situation that you are predicting here? What's an example of the situation that you are predicting in terms of how you're ending up, how you're finishing up? Could be, you know, I mean, it'd be an amazing if it was a very specific way of dying, like you died test driving a jetpack in the future, and you said, "I told you, didn't I?" And people would think, well, she didn't tell me that, but did she tell somebody else that she would die in some kind of jetpack accident? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that a lot. I like that a lot, TB. The more specific, the better. The weirder the little kind of tells, because then again, people would assume that something you'd told somebody else. Oh, it was murdered by a platinum-selling artiste. I told you, didn't I? What? Did she? Did she? That's incredible. Selena Gomez stabbed her and watched her die. And she predicted that? Regular Nostradamus yourself, TB. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Which means that you now have all of the points that you're going to get this quiz. While you do tot up your scores, TB, and anybody in the future watching, I want to remind you that in this quiz, aside from the yay or nay subject choice, you're only competing against yourself. Okay, there's no point threshold to being smart. If you've got all the questions right that you realistically could have been expected to get, then yes, you are smart, and well done to you. That's what I say. I say well done to you. So this week on the Most Week show, it is a an Acolyte Poetry Corner week. It's an Acolyte Poetry Corner week. So if you're feeling creative, if you're feeling artistic, and if you're feeling poetic, then please consider getting involved. We're going to turn off the music. I'm going to show a little video just to hopefully give you a little bit of inspiration. Let's see how it goes. That's right, this week's episode of the Most Week Show is going to be all about Jesus' birthday, and this is your opportunity to contribute to that. Write a poem about him being lazy, about him being a great fan of cheese, about the slightly skewed look that he takes at the world. He kind of sees things slightly differently, right? Also, he's a dog, so there's lots to write about. I can't wait to read your words. There we go. There we go. So if you want to write a poem, by all means, write a poem and email that poem to... Did I have a thing for this? No, I didn't have a thing for this. But iamsmart@gmail.com. Email that poem to me and I'll perform it on Sunday. So TB has 22. I am smart. Absolutely you're smart, TB. Absolutely you're smart. And well done you. Which means that you get to make the selection for the next yay or nay round. Now, I know what you're thinking, but there's no show next week. Not me. What do I do? What does my high score achieve? Well, whilst I am interluding, I will be providing another episode, a full episode of the I Am Smart, Not Me quiz, just pre-recorded and split into its individual rounds. So on each Thursday at the same time, same place, there'll be a round dropping on Thursdays. The first week will, of course, be yay or nay, then a random, then and to cover the whole 5 weeks. So that's what the high score achieves. So next week, there'll be a pre-recorded yay or nay round based on whatever TB is going to pick here. And at that point, you'll be able to watch that and then comment below with what your score was and what you got for your musing, and just to kind of tide you over, just so you're not having to go cold turkey, full nothingness on Not Me. Okay. I would also say that we have got the Most Week show this week on Sunday, as we mentioned with the Acolyte Poetry Corner. It's the final one for a month. So probably a good idea to watch it. Yeah, probably a good idea to get involved there. TB says Sandra Bullock. So next week, same time, same place, 6 p.m. Pacific. Tune in. This will be on YouTube. Watch a yay or nay round all about Sandra Bullock. Thank you so much, TB. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for keeping me company, it seems. Otherwise, I would have been on my own, except for young Jesus down here. I wish I could show you, but it's very cute. Thank you for joining me. I hope you had fun, TB. I hope you learned a little something, and I hope you felt creative all at the same time. I am not me. I am art, and I hope that you will watch my pre-recorded interludisodes, as I'll be calling them, the interludisodes, back every Thursday. They will be on YouTube, so make sure you're subscribing to me on YouTube if you haven't already, and click the little bell, the notification bell, so you get a message every time I put another video up. Put your scores, put your musings in the comments, because I would genuinely love to see how you do. And then once I'm back, I hope you join me back here, same place, same time, 29th of October. Put it in the diaries for a new and improved opportunity to say to yourself, yes, I am smart. Cheers. Cheers.
So there we go, and well done you, whatever your score might be. I definitely think that you are smart, though Rob's not as smart as me. Your art will be better, trust me on this, should be nothing short of sublime. That's why you learn, and don't stop now, I'll see you right here next time. I am smart.